Shocking new allegations are emerging at a time when the world's most powerful democracies are gathered at the G7 summit in Canada. Medical experts and human rights lawyers are warning that the Chinese Communist Party is using its Belt and Road Initiative not only for economic expansion but also to export forced organ harvesting and transnational repression. At a June 14th roundtable, Dr. Andreas Weber from Doctors Against Forced Organ Harvesting sounded the alarm. He says China's state-sanctioned organ harvesting is undermining global ethical transplant systems. Organ transplant systems in the US and Europe are based on altruism and ethics. What the CCP is doing completely destroys that foundation, Weber said. Dr. Weber, who began working in transplant medicine in Europe in the early 2000s, said large-scale on-demand transplants were unimaginable until evidence of forced organ harvesting began surfacing from China. Canadian human rights lawyer David Mattis, co-author of the investigative report Bloody Harvest, the Slaughter, cited Chinese government data estimating up to 100,000 transplants per year. And yet, China has virtually no functioning voluntary donation system, Mattis noted. Investigations have long pointed to detained Falun Gong practitioners and more recently Uyghurs as the primary victims. Now, experts say Beijing is exporting its transplant model through the Belt and Road Initiative. A 2025 report by the group WOIPFG reveals China began integrating transplant cooperation into its Belt and Road agenda in 2016, forming an international transplant alliance involving over 60 countries. Weber warned that this could spread unethical practices globally. I worry that without independent oversight, these practices will leak into other countries under the guise of medical cooperation. He recounted first-hand experience using Chinese-developed organ preservation devices in 2015, raising red flags about Beijing's quiet export of transplant tech. In response, the U.S. House of Representatives passed two major bills this May to ban forced organ harvesting and protect Falun Gong practitioners. Canada also enacted a law in 2022 prohibiting its citizens from receiving organs sourced without consent. Mattis and Weber agree the Belt and Road is not just economic, it's a vehicle for repression. The CCP is using trade aid and foreign investment to silence critics abroad and co-opt institutions, said Mattis. Weber added bluntly, "You simply cannot trust the Chinese Communist Party." As G7 leaders weigh policy on global security and human rights, experts are urging them to confront what they say is a silent, expanding atrocity, one that threatens not just individual lives, but the integrity of international medicine.